Isabelle Morton here. Today I'd like to share with you our collection of crystal clusters. The collection changes all the time, and we've recently found some outstanding clusters that I am thrilled to be able to share with you. So let's start with the smallest ones. Okay. These are our two smallest crystals. This one is number 3-122, and this is 4-137. We rate 3A crystals versus 4A quality crystals by how water clear the points are. Now, this one is totally sweet little crystal cluster. We consider this 3A because the points, although they are clear, there are some inclusions in them. It's not exactly perfectly clear points. And this one here, we do consider 4A because even though there are a couple of them that have some cloudiness in them, for the most part, the crystal itself is clear, it's water clear, and the cloudiness, if you look carefully, it's really only because the surface has some marks on it that reflect through the stone. But this is a lovely little crystal cluster also. Both of these are ideal for bracelets. You could set a bracelet on either of these clusters. And what happens when you put spheres on top of the cluster, what happens is that that cluster radiates the energies of the sphere throughout the space. This little cluster right here has radiated this charoite indigo bracelet maybe about here already. And so over time, it could gradually increase the area that this charoite indigo fills. The clusters are also very nice for rejuvenating the necklaces. If you've worn them a lot, sometimes they get a little tired. So this is an excellent way to rejuvenate them, give them extra life, help your gemstone necklaces, help them reconnect with the earth energy, which gives them life and healing vitality. Okay, here's number 4-138, and here's number 4-139. These are very comparable in quality. They both have water clear points, all about the same size. These are slightly larger, and both of them are ideal for placing bracelets. But you could also put a necklace on these too. This is an 18-inch amethyst white beryl, and I can very nicely lay that on top of the cluster to radiate it throughout the room. This has already filled this much space. And for this one here, the necklace would look like that. So still doable for a necklace or a bracelet. It is also possible to lay several necklaces or bracelets across the crystal if you wanted to make a mandala, for example, of necklaces over your crystal cluster. So that's another thing that you can do. Really, no matter what the size of the cluster. Okay, we make a big jump in size now. This is a 3A piece. It's flat on the bottom, made of quartz as the matrix, and has quite beautiful points of different sizes. There's some Druzy mixed in with the points. Druzy is the term for very tiny little crystals. And there are some larger crystal points here at the back. When we measure these, we measure the greatest length, the greatest width, which would be actually this way, and the greatest height, which would be from here to here. So this one's about 9.5 by 8 by 3. So what we like these crystals for is to rejuvenate necklaces. Especially if you have a lot of necklaces, You can lay several of them across the cluster. At the end of the day, after you give your necklaces a little spritz with the energy clearing spray to remove the energies around the necklace that they have picked up from you while they were being worn by you, you can just place your necklaces on the cluster, and then what happens is the necklaces get rejuvenated and the room is also filled with that gemstone's energy. Already this has filled the space, almost filled my entire office. Not quite, but almost. And here's the charite. So plenty of room for that. This one is more suited to rejuvenating the gemstones because of the size of the points, although to have filled the room so quickly, probably due to the fact that this is complete quartz. There is no rock matrix. This is completely quartz. It may also have something to do with these larger crystals here as well. What's interesting that I've noticed is that if there is just one bracelet and the bracelet's on this half of the cluster, this charite energy is still going to be radiating through these points. So even though the necklace is not touching certain aspects of this cluster, the entire cluster radiates the gemstone energies. And I think the reason is because when you put the spheres on the cluster, the first thing that happens is that the energies get drawn in to the cluster, and then the cluster as a whole radiates them outward. This one is number 3-126. There's another reason you might want to use this particular one, and I'm noticing this as I'm talking to you right now. This large collection of points on this cluster right here facing me, I'm getting a large dose of this gemstone energy toward me. So another use for this particular crystal is for self-therapy. You could put a series of necklaces or bracelets on this cluster and orient it so that the large points in the cluster are facing you. Here, I'll do that right now. They're facing you. And I could then place a series of necklaces on the cluster, and you'd be feeling it. Now I can already tell in this orientation I'm not getting the full brunt of this gemstone's energies, but you are. Put on the amethyst, see if you can tell the difference of amethyst energy versus the charite indigo. Again, that's 3-126. Okay, here's another 3A piece, a lot bigger. This is 11 pounds of crystal loveliness, and it is about 10.5 inches this way. Come here, you. 10.5 inches this way, 8 inches this way, and we figured probably about 4 inches this way. Maybe, it looks like it might be a little more than that. But anyway, this is a fun one because you can orient it in different ways, and if you had some sort of a support here, you'd be able to keep it in a lot of different directions. I'll show you why. Because on this underside, which is all quartz, there are 3 planes, 3 flat planes. So with a little bit of support, you could put it in this direction, or this direction, or I think that would be really nice to do it that way, or oh, this is heavy, or this direction, and just letting it fall where it wants to without any support at all, you have it like this. What's nice when you can have a crystal cluster that's somewhat upright is that you could put this on a mantelpiece or on some furniture toward the back of the furniture, and it's going to be radiating into the room if it's against a wall. And you're also able to drape the gemstones in this orientation, somewhat like this. There are a lot of crystal points going in all different directions here, and little tunnels and little caves, which are kind of interesting from an aesthetic viewpoint. There are some water clear points in here, but since the majority are not quite perfectly clear, we gave it a 3A rating. Not much druzy on this one. This cluster is comprised of nice size points completely all over the place. Oh, here's a beautiful little water clear one right up here. There's another one here. And they're like little cities of crystals. So yeah, you can find one. There's another one there. Here. Yeah. Really has a lot of weight to it. And the benefit of the weight, especially in this case, since the weight is pretty much all quartz, the benefit is that you're going to be able to radiate much farther, more quickly with this piece. And this is numbered 3-123. Okay, this one is number 4-142. It's about 7 pounds and about 9 inches by 9 inches by 6 by 3.5, that way. And what's really special about this one is it's two-sided. Let me show you the other side. Look at that. You get crystals on both sides. The base is flat. This is all crystal. This is one big chunk of crystal. Pretty amazing. So what's nice about this is it will stand up by itself. It has the two sides. Although I think if it were me, I might put a support underneath here so it stood upright a little better. Maybe one of those like little tiny pillows filled with grain, like rice hulls or something like that, so that it would stand up more completely. And this is something you could put in the center of a table so you could see all around it. Again, you could lay necklaces and bracelets over it to rejuvenate them or to spread their energies throughout a room. These are big water clear points. There are some cloudy points, but mostly they are water clear, and they are all over this crystal, just everywhere. Really quite lovely. Again, that's 4-142. This one is number 3-126, and this is also two-sided, and this one is filled with druzy. The points on it are water clear, but we considered it a 3A simply because on this one side it looks like there's some inclusions in here. It looks like nature sprinkled some pepper on this. We thought at first it was dirt, but we couldn't clean it out. You can barely see it, and you can't see it from a distance, but when you look closely, they're there. and I don't think they have anything to do with detracting from the benefit of the crystal. Just aesthetically, if you look a little closely, you might say, well, this really isn't a 4A quality, or what you would expect from 4A. So we called it 3A. But the crystals are water clear. And on this side, you don't see it at all. Everything is clean on this side. No, actually, yeah, you do. So this crystal could be laid flat on this side or on this side. This side, the crystals are a little bigger, but you still have that pepper effect. Or if you had a nice pillow for this, you could stand it upright. It almost stands upright on its own, just a little tippy. Showing you the other side, what that would look like from all directions. Again, you really have to look closely to see that pepper, but I couldn't in my right mind call this a 4A because of that, even though the clusters, the crystals on this cluster are all water clear. And what this would look like with necklaces draped on it and a bracelet. Here we go. This also has a lot of interest on the edge too. I'll turn this over and show you. See the edge of that? In here. I just think that's lovely. They're like little miniature cities of crystals. So this one is about 6 pounds, about 9.5 by 8 by 2.5. Okay, so do you remember the previous clusters I've shown you that have had the quartz as a base? Well, this one has rock as a base. And see how nicely they cut it so that it forms a nice solid base for the crystal to stand upright. You could also present it this way if you had a support for it. What's nice about this one is that you could put this up against a wall and have the crystals radiate throughout the room, or you could lay it in this direction, like that, if you wanted to do that. And again, the necklaces, there's plenty of room for many necklaces and bracelets to be draped over this to fill the room quite quickly. Already, my little office is full of the amethyst and charoite from this crystal. What I haven't said yet, which really deserves being said, is why you would want to put a crystal cluster in your home to begin with, even if you're not working with the necklaces and bracelets, is because the presence of the quartz energy uplifts the vibrations of the room. The quartz clusters send their energy in all directions to fill the room with a very, it's a purifying, clarifying, uplifting type of quartz vibration. It's a healing energy, and it uplifts the space that you live within. It's very nice to have one in your home. I would suggest having a showpiece in the central part of your room, perhaps in your living area, or even in your kitchen if there's a good spot for it, up against the wall on a mantle, some place where its energies can fill your entire home, some central location. And then if you want in your bedroom or in other rooms in the house to have a smaller cluster to keep that energy going from the bigger one. And I think the clusters, they tend to connect with each other if you have more than one in the home, amplifying each other's work. We consider this one a 3A, even though the points themselves look flawless. but there's a little bit of cloudiness to the points, so I can't really say they're water clear, so we give this a 3A quality. This is number 3-127. Okay, here's number 3-125. This has beautiful, even crystals of even size throughout. And what's really special about this? Guess what? It's two-sided. On this side it has mostly Druzy, and this side there are more, the points have grown much larger. Can you see? Sometimes on different angles you can see the crystal in different ways. And that's why I do videos of these things, because a picture just doesn't do it. You've got to see a cluster and appreciate it from many different angles to really understand the gift that this crystal can bring into your home. So this one could, with a stand, be put upright in the center of your home somewhere, or against a wall. You could do that too, or you could lay it down in one direction or the other. The Druzy side would be preferred if you, let's turn it this way so you can see it better, would be preferred just if you wanted to rejuvenate your necklaces, although there are some good sized points on here which will naturally radiate the gemstone energies. But sometimes we don't want to radiate the gems, we just want to rejuvenate them. So that's what you would do, use this side for, and then this side with the points on it you could use to radiate the gems in a room. Now, why would you want to radiate gemstones in a room? Well, first of all, if someone in the room can't wear the stones, maybe they're elderly and just not able to carry the weight of gemstones, or they won't sit still long enough to place, for example, the foundation 5 in their field, which is very balancing, or for infants and young children, or any children that you wouldn't trust wearing the beads for whatever reason, you could put this on in the room and lay the gemstones on that you feel would be most supportive of whatever they're going through at the time. Anyone who is not comfortable wearing necklaces can also receive their energies with the quartz cluster. And even yourself, perhaps you don't want to have to cleanse your necklaces in the morning, which is something that is required when you sleep with the necklaces in bed with you. They take on a lot of unwanted energies, which has a place, but will also require the energy clearing spray. Definitely after you've slept with the necklace, but if you want the energies of the necklace and you place it on the quartz cluster and the energies radiate throughout the room. One of the reasons we give this cluster a 3A rating is because there is some impurity in here. You might be able to see it along this vein in here and a little bit in here. It has a little bit of an orangish tone, and that's just an impurity from another mineral, but it makes it not perfect. So we gave it 3A. This is number 3-125. And it's about 4 pounds. Alright, this one's a little bigger. It's about 5.5 pounds, 11 inches by 7 by about 3 inches tall. And we consider this 3A quality. It also has some of the impurities as well. The base is rock, so you only get one side on this one. The points are large. Look how tall they are. So anything set on this cluster is going to radiate throughout the room very nicely. could set it on a support so you get to see it a little better if you do put it in a room, or just laying flat. Plenty of room for necklaces and bracelets on these. This is number 3-124. Oh, and underneath, gosh, I didn't look at this. The base, oh my goodness, the base is full of druzy. Huh, I just noticed that. There's druzy all along here. Some here, you don't see it as well along this part, and all along here. Isn't that interesting? So you could, in fact, use this side just for rejuvenating your necklaces. Yeah. It looks like it's in a base. Looks like this may be granite underneath, although I'm not quite sure. Maybe not, maybe just a sandstone. This one is one of our new ones. It's 14 pounds. It's number 4-144, and it has these beautiful 4A water clear points, all relatively even size, all over this thing. Now granted, a lot of the weight is in this rock matrix, but these crystals are just outstanding. They are just beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I can't stop saying that. Just gorgeous. Garden of crystal points. So, let's see, how can I show you this the best? I would definitely arrange this so that it's upright, like that. Give it some support on the other side, so that you can see from a distance the beauty of this cluster. And plenty of room for laying necklaces. Now, this one and the next one I'm going to show you have an interesting quality to it. Listen to the sound of these points. Isn't that lovely? So again, this is number 4-144. Beautiful, beautiful cluster. We saw this and we thought, oh my gosh, we've got to take this home. This is going to be so helpful for someone to just brighten up their room with the quartz energy, or to use to amplify the gemstone necklaces. Isn't that great? I love playing with these. Okay, next is our big one. You ready? Okay, this one is amazing. This one is 19 pounds of crystal loveliness, 4A quality, although there are some points that are a little milky. Most of them are water clear, and just the magnitude of this is just amazing. This is a museum quality piece. It would be amazing on your mantle or as the centerpiece of a table. You could even put it in, all right, imagine this, a beautiful pot with sand in which you placed this upright, because you've got, oh, this is heavy. I'll do it this way. You've got interest on all directions. Just show you. I'll turn this around. Look at that. You can see where it grew. We used this crystal as the centerpiece of our retreat mandala, our class mandala that we made at the Gemstone Therapy Retreat last weekend. So this in here, whoops, this doesn't stand up very well. As I said, you need to bury it in some sand. That's where the crystal was growing, but also got some, here's the base, that's what it looks like underneath. This is just amazing. It's like you want to hold it like a baby, even though it's so sharp. The points are sharp. But this is just awesome, awesome, awesome. What a beautiful thing to put in your home. What a beautiful gift of the earth to place on a mantle and just fill your home with the beautiful uplifting energy of these quartz points. And plenty of room for the necklaces and the bracelets. Plenty. And the sound, did you hear that? This sound is amazing. I like this sound better than the other one I just showed you. Listen to this. Isn't that great? I could play with this all day. This is number 4-145, and it is certainly a museum piece. Well, thank you very much for joining me in this little presentation of our crystal clusters, and I hope you find one that you like and that you'd like to invite to come into your home to help uplift it and to serve you, and if you are working with the gemstone bracelets and necklaces, to help uplift them and keep them working for you at their very best. My name is Isabelle Morton. I'm the founder of the Gemstone Therapy Institute and Gem Formulas, and I wish you all the best on your journey to greater health.